Hello everyone, I am the Metro. You may call me Metro for short. First, let me introduce you to my friend, the Ace logo. He's gonna pop. Okay, that was him. He's a good friend of mine, right? Now, as for this video, this is a very specific one. Gonna be targeted at individuals looking to learn a bit more about the Sunreaver Onslaught reputation. This is the Horde-only reputation introduced in patch 5.2. We're going to begin by discussing basics of the rep, how to start the rep, perhaps how the rep develops, things you need to know about the reputation, and ultimately discuss what the finality of it entails. So we might as well get right into it, huh? Damn fucking right, we're getting right into it. So beginning this rep, very, very basic, very simple. All you have to do is have a level 90 Horde, obviously, and just log into your character at any point during 5.2. Chances are, if you're watching this, you've already gotten this part of the quest. It's going to direct you here to Townlong Steps. I believe that's how that's pronounced. The Shadowpan Garrison bit. This is the Horde area. Okay, you're seeing it right now. The individual I'm standing in front of is the subject of the quest. You come here, you'll begin the story elements, and it'll take you to the island. Now, I've done a video already solely for the purpose of demonstrating the story. If you'd like to see that, the annotation is on the screen, has been, and will be for the remainder of the video. But if you want to just watch the reputation, that's what we're doing right now. Okay, so I'm going to go to the island, and we'll discuss further distribution of what you need to know. All right, boom, once you're here, you've completed the, as I said, if you want to watch the story elements, you can. This is basically taking you here. This is the entry, basically, I guess it's a ship, a fleet that brings the Horde here. You'll start here, obviously. I'm not sure how permanent this location becomes as the story progresses, but this is where you'll begin. You'll see some familiar faces. All right, you got the Horde, or the Blood Elf leader. You got Desco, that giant Tauren whose baby was born and he was healing the bitch that was dead and all that. You got a portal. I'll show you this one first. This is how you get back, okay? If you want to go back to where you came from, you go there. If you want to go to the actual island, which is over there, all right, you see the island? There it is. Boom. You're going to take this portal here. Let's put the interface back on right here. Okay, so we're going to click that, and he's using it. Oh, look at that. Look, nice loading screen. I like this one. Looks like something from Magic the Gathering. Anyway, so you're going to be taken here. Now, this is effectively where the reputation begins. I can't tell you exactly how it traverses the path, but I'll try to describe, at least in broad theory, where you go from here. Okay, now let's check it out. Okay, now the first thing you need to realize is that the reputation, while it has revered, honored, stuff like that, that's a lot less important than how the island progresses. This may not be the best starting point considering when you're watching this video, as the island progresses as a faction, okay, as a realm, I'm assuming, per realm individually. That means there's going to be different facets of the island happening at different times. Now, if you're starting this when everybody else is starting this, hopefully very early in 5.2, this is definitely going to be the way to do it from here on out. But if not, and you're confused about what section you're at and how to start this, just ask in the comments, all right? But I'm going to take the approach as if this is day 1 of 5.2 and lead it on from there. Okay, so stage 1 is going to be known as Assault on Shalmara and Zebtula. All right, if you see the map right here, hover above this. This is Zebtula right here. Okay, it's an island that's originally possessed by the trolls, and the first thing you have to do is do dailies to take it back. Obviously, on the PTR, we're into stage 4 already, but from what I understand, the dailies are going to be centered around the fleet that I showed you earlier, and they'll take place on the island, and then you'll return to the fleet to turn them in. All right. Now, once again, remember, please, I can't say this enough. It does not matter if you get, revered through exalted with this. This is completely independent of your reputation and entirely dependent on the realm's progression of the events. Okay, so we won't cover the progression on the island as much, but I'm trying to put this in perspective of you for the reputation. Now, once you have completed the first stage, the second stage is the assault on the Zandalari fortifications. Okay, and that's this area up here. Okay, I'll take you to it in a second, but it's basically the Thunder King's complex. All right, so obviously once you've established your base on the island, everything is now going to take place on this island, in this area, from the Horde. Okay, this is where it takes place. There will be quests here. All right, there'll be, this guy's got a quest, you know, some other people will have quests, etc. First stage involves dailies here only, okay? And they'll send you out in the world and you'll get reputation, very similar to Golden Lotus. If you remember how Golden Lotus started, there was just the original hub. And then once you got more reputation with them, a second hub opens up. All right, and let's talk about that progression now. Okay, in terms of progression through reputation and the island, there's always going to be the main dailies, as I said, very akin to the Golden Lotus. You'll always have the main dailies, and then after you complete those, there'll be other hubs. So for the main hub, all right, it's going to be centric around 3 or 4 locations. It's going to start at the Court of Bones, which I'm at now. Okay, Zatual, or however the fuck that's pronounced, I don't even know, and Igahulkrag, I think that's a Russian place. Those are the 3 main hubs, very similar to Tolbarad. If you've done Tolbarad, you understand this. And perhaps you'll have 1 quest at Court of Bones, 2 at Zatual, and 4 at the Russian place, you know what I mean? And then there's also going to be a quest sometimes to kill a boss. Well, there'll always be a quest after you've completed those to kill a boss. Very, very, very similar to Golden Lotus. And then you'll get something out of it, a chest that has a chance. This is actually it here, Sunreaver's Bounty. Okay, a chest that has perhaps some gold, I think maybe tokens, feasts, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just stuff that's typically not important for the reputation. Once you've progressed, I believe, to Honored, and the second stage is unlocked. I'm not 100% sure about this, so if there's a change, I'll let you guys know. But from what I understand, you need to be Honored, and a reputation, or the island has unlocked to another stage. You'll have some things that'll make these dailies easier. From what I understand is some random buffs that are going to make these easier, and then a second daily that's going to unlock. So this is obviously expediting the rep exponentially. You know what I mean? You have more dailies per day to do. Those dailies are going to take place in the area that's currently being unlocked. All right, so try to follow me here. What I understand about this system is that, say you're on stage 2, which is the area, the very inner of the area. Let's head there. It'd be a lot easier. Okay, so once you've gained access to this area, this door opens. This is during stage 2. Okay, you have the base ready, and you're now assaulting the main complex. You'll be granted access, if you're honored, to dailies that start here. Okay, which is the Beast Pens. This area of the map, everywhere south of the Forge, and then across from it, which is an area known as Conqueror's Terrace. Okay, and I'll show you where the dailies are here. They're in this little area right here. Okay, these guys will have quests if you're honored, and this stage is unlocked, obviously. Conversely, the next area that unlocks, okay, is up these stairs here. I'll show you it now. Okay, so we headed north from the previous area. These gates are now open, and to the left is an area called the Thunder Forges. This is a very interesting subject. There's also a lot of videos about this as well. You could check them out. But one way or the other, you'll have quests likely for this guy, and then across from him, there's some mines and some other shit, and that's where some more quests are going to be, okay? And these progress through the reputations. So this is how you get rep. You just do dailies. They'll direct you to where to go. Don't worry about it. But understand, so when you log on one week and things look different, you're not baffled why the dailies are different. Okay, try to understand that concept. So let's talk about how the reputation unfolds and the finality of it. So despite seeming very convoluted, multi-layered, multifaceted, this rep is extremely basic. The reputation itself is essentially, there doesn't seem to be anything that you need from this. I'm not going to say that won't change. This is the PTR while I'm recording this. But in terms of, there's no gear, nothing like that. The Valor stuff is not related to this reputation. If you've heard people, Blue Post, talk about reputation that you're going to use Valor to buy gear from, that is not this reputation. That is a reputation associated with the raid, which I'll have a subsequent video on when that's available. But for now, this is all the information there essentially is. You just do dailies. As I said, you'll unlock more hubs as you go. There'll be certain things, certain buffs that can help you do this a bit quicker, but it's very, very, very similar to the Golden Lotus. So if you have any questions, I'd like for you to leave them below. There shouldn't be a lot, but I'm more than happy to answer anything somewhat semi-specific. The island is really cool, and obviously as the 5 stages progress, things are going to change a lot for the daily hubs and the way the island feels. But that doesn't really have much to do with the reputation. All you need to know is that you're a horde, you're trying to break into the Thunder Palace, and that is the main goal of this island, for your faction to kill the Thunder King and essentially dominate this island. So we're going to show a few other things off, but that's essentially it for the reputation. So hope you enjoy it. Now we'll begin to discuss some supplementary information that's not necessarily mandatory to understand about the main reputation, but is useful to know. Okay, this little area here is for both Horde and Alliance. Essentially the home of operations for Terran Zoo and some Shadowpan figures. This is essentially going to be a pretty interesting location. Eventually, as the reputation and the island progress, you'll get a quest. These are what I understand to be weekly quests. Okay, I'm not 100% sure about that. But basically just one of them here is Champions of the Thunder King. You collect these items that are not, unfortunately, the topic of this video. And you just do the quest. It's going to be a 5-player quest. It recommends a group. You'll summon mobs. And once you've completed all 3 of them, which require 9 of the items, you get Valor points, basically. And likely a lot of rep with perhaps Shadowpan or maybe even the offensive rep that we're talking about here. But either way, just realize there's stuff going on here as well. This will help your reputation, give you more things to do, and also, conversely, give you a good amount of Valor. All right. Another important weekly quest. It's called the Crumbled Chamberlain. Sorry. It's picked up from a head on the island. You'll find that as you do the daily. There's no reason to belabor on that. But essentially, he wants you to find pieces of him. They're scattered throughout the island. That's also not really the topic of this video, so I won't really discuss it. But once you get them, you bring them back to him, and he gives you a Shanssey ritual stone, which was actually the item I was just discussing, alluding to, from the previous quest with Terran Zoo, and you use 3 of these to summon one of the 3 components of the previous quest. They're useful to get Valor and stuff like that. So you'll want to be doing this early on. This has essentially nothing to do with the reputation and nothing to do with the island. It should always be here, and essentially just provides another source of reputation for you to do if you wish. Final thing I want to point out is that there are obviously some things in place to help you do the dailies and not burn out on them so easy. I'm not exactly sure how many of these things are in place, but this is one that I've unlocked, so I figured I'd show it. Once you're honored with this rep, you come to this area here. This is the subject of a quest line. You'll do it, and then you'll be granted this boon. Let's show it off, shall we? Come on. There we go. Okay, so you basically get turned into a Sarok spacebar. Jump has been replaced by this massive leap, and everything that is Sarok related is now neutral. Okay, this makes doing the dailies a lot easier, as you'll see these guys flood the area, and there are often, most of them are a collection, or perhaps kill one guy and then kind of be out of there. You could still attack them. Obviously, you'll lose your cover, and then once you're done attacking them, it'll go back, but it makes the area much easier to traverse. You won't be able to mount up, but it will allow you to run around and not aggro anything in this area, which, if you remember in Tolbrod, was a real pain in the ass because you'd have to run around, aggro thousands of things on the way to the objective, and then try to make it out of there alive. So that's pretty much it. Not a lot of information going out on the reputation, but if there is anything that I do need to update, I'll either make a follow-up video to this or perhaps an annotation link to some of the info. As I said, if you have questions, please do feel free to ask. But if not, I think, don't forget this reputation is very basic, very linear. Has nothing to do with gear, nothing you need to worry about. It's mostly for fun, but it is going to have to be done to some extent to complete the island. Everybody on the realm is going to be working on this, so you might as well get to know it now. And look forward to 5.2, man. I really think this is going to be one of the best patches they've ever come out with, period.